We're going to look at a second church in the book of Revelation, chapter 2. We spent quite a bit of time here on the first church, Ephesus. He had a lot to say to them. We're going to breeze through the church at Smyrna pretty quickly because it's very clear and very simple what he's saying here. He has no condemnation whatsoever for this church. Has nothing negative to say about them, no real corrections whatsoever. But the church, which is little known, is the church at Smyrna. And he says this, that this is the first and the last who is dead and who is to come to life. So Christ is referencing himself as the eternal Son of God, and he's come to life. He died for us on the cross. He's been resurrected. Then he says, I know your tribulation and your poverty, but you are rich. Isn't that a beautiful statement? This is not a wealthy church, apparently. This is a church that's probably not very large. It doesn't have great facilities. It doesn't have a lot of good things going for them. As a matter of fact, they're in poverty, and they're going through some tribulation of some sort. It doesn't say what it is. It doesn't say who's causing those problems, but they're going through hard times. And so he knows they're poor, probably financially, and they're going through difficult circumstances. But in parentheses, it says, but you are rich. And that is obviously a statement concerning their spiritual condition. They might be physically poor, but spiritually, they're wealthy. They're rich. What a wonderful thing if the Lord could say that about me and about our church, that yet whatever place you might have in the bigger culture of life, even in the church culture, it may be small, it may not be much, but you are rich in the things that matter to me. What a beautiful statement. And he goes on, he says, I know these things, and I know the blasphemy by those who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So this tribulation seems to be coming from a group of people that claim to be Jews. He says they're not. They're actually from the synagogue of Satan. Whether there was an actual synagogue dedicated to the devil in this community, I don't know. Or is he maybe doing symbolism here of some sort? But whoever these people are, they're not worshipers of Christ. They're worshipers, whether they know it or not, of the devil. And he goes on to say, verse 10, do not fear what you are about to suffer. So they're not done with their suffering yet. They're going through tribulation, but they've got more to come. And that's a frightening thought, isn't it? We don't like to be told that there's more ahead of us that's going to be difficult. But he's preparing them. He's getting them ready. He says, behold, the devil is about to cast some of you into prison so that you may be tested. So again, we're referencing the devil here. He's very active in this community. I think wherever the Lord is doing a great work in the lives of people, you're going to find Satan showing up. He hates anything that the Lord is doing in the lives of people. He hates good churches. He hates people that are trying to walk with him. And so Satan shows up and he does all he can to derail us and derail our churches from serving the Lord. So he says, you're going to go through some stuff. In this case, some apparently were even going to be cast into prison. So this is a pretty solid tribulation. And he says to be tested. How would you do if you were thrown into prison for the cause of Christ? That would be a good test, wouldn't it? I mean, when things are well done, and in this day of the prosperity gospel, where health and wealth and success are all part of the gospel for many people, that's how they see it falsely. What would happen if all that was stripped away and you were actually thrown into prison for the cause of Christ? Would your faith hold up? Well, this church's faith is going to be tested. And it sounds like they're going to do very well with that. He says you'll have tribulation for 10 days, so it has an ending spot. But he says, be faithful unto death, and I'll give you the crown of life. Is he saying some of them are going to die for Christ here? Maybe. It's hard to say. But even if they don't, he wants them to remain faithful throughout the rest of their lives for the cause of Christ. And if they do, I'll give you the crown of life. And so again, this is a reference, I think, to salvation. The testing of our faith shows the genuineness of our faith. And it's better that our faith is tested and we realize we don't pass the test, we don't really know Christ, than to think we're saved and we're not. So difficulties have their very important purpose in our life. They test us and they show us the authenticity of our faith in Christ. He who has the ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches, and he who overcomes will never be hurt by the second death. The second death we find in chapter 20 of Revelation speaks of the eternal condemnation of the lost. But those who overcome, those who listen to the voice of the Lord, those who are genuinely saved, will not only be given the crown of life, they'll never taste the second death. Well, what a beautiful picture. What a wonderful promise to this church, its people, and to you and I today who know Christ. If you don't know Christ, this is a warning to you, a testing, so to speak. Test yourself, make sure you're in the faith, that you might get the crown of life and never taste the second death.